Vanessa here. So I just came from our monthly diaper giveaway, hence the shirt. I started a ministry through our church called Wrapped in Love Diaper Ministry, and we take donations of diapers of all sizes and pull-ups and wipes, and we do a distribution day once a month, and we give back to the community, to those families that need help with diapers. So this is our 5th month, I believe, and we're growing every month in how many families are coming and taking advantage of our giveaway. And we're so honored and blessed to be able to help other families because, you know, the state assistance programs like WIC and SNAP, they help with other things, but none of the state agencies or organizations help with diapers. And diapers are very expensive. So I've always had a heart for kids and babies, and especially single moms. Now we're not just for single moms, we're for families. But I've always had a heart for single moms. I've been a single mom myself, and so I know the struggle. And I'm excited to be able to head up this ministry and give to our community in that way. So that's our logo right there. So I actually wanted to talk about another ministry, a women's ministry that I started. It's probably been close to 20 years ago, maybe between 16, 17, 18 years ago. It is a women's ministry geared towards women who have been in abusive relationships. So myself, I have been in 2 abusive relationships, and after God brought me out of that, through that, it helped me work through all the stuff, all the baggage that comes with coming out of those type of situations. He told me to start helping other women in that situation. So I started a women's ministry, and I have spoken at women's conferences on my testimony, my story, and also all the research and a couple classes that I've taken on helping women in that situation. So I've done some workshops teaching women how to actually be a friend to someone in that situation. So I've looked up and researched all the statistics. So actually every 9 seconds in the United States, a woman is assaulted or beaten by a significant other. Someone could be a husband, boyfriend, live-in, family member, that type of thing. The statistics used to be 1 in 4 women. I think it might be 1 in 3 now. I need to look that up. It's been a while since I looked that up, but 1 in 4 women have been in or are currently in an abusive relationship. So if you look around you in public or in your workplace, in school, in your church, you may be sitting next to someone that has been in that situation or is currently in that situation. Yeah, I've done the conferences and the workshops, and then God told me to write a book on my story. And I was shocked. I was like, what? Me write a book? I started writing and getting my story together. I was trying to pray about and figure out how I was supposed to start the book and in what format and what order I should do it. And so I actually worked on my book for about 9 years before I published it. Because I would start working on it, and then I would set it to the side for a long time, a couple of years at a time, and then I'd go back and do a little bit more, and then I'd go back and forth, put it on the back burner again, and then go back and work on it some more. And finally, I think it was around 2012 that I finished it and was ready to publish. I self-published it. This is my book here, Finding Me by Vanessa Foster, and it is on Amazon. It's been on there. I did publish through their program, the KDP publishing program. So it is on there, but I also keep copies on hand. So if you're local to me and you would like to purchase one, or most of the time I give them away, or if I will loan one out and say, read it, give it back to me so I can loan it out to others. So if anyone would like to read my story, just let me know. So then also recently, probably less than, I don't know, probably maybe 6 months ago or so, I put together a book. This one is spiral bound because this is my copy, but it is called Overcoming an Abusive Relationship and Putting the Pieces Back Together. I'm not sure if y'all can see this backwards or not, so that's why I'm reading to you what it is. But this is a big book, and it's all in big print. Lots of information about what to look for, the signs of an abuser. It's how to see the red flags, how to get out of that situation, how to start planning, because usually you have to put a plan together before you leave. There's also some I put blank pages or notebook type pages for notes, and I've got lots of encouraging sayings in here and scriptures. So it's really, and there's lots of information about what to look for when you start dating someone, or maybe you have a friend and you're kind of seeing some red flags. I actually put this together because I was praying about and thinking about doing some sort of maybe support group. I'm still praying about that and trying to figure out how that would all work out and where I would hold these meetings. But it would be great even for women that are out of a relationship, out of an abusive relationship, and just needs to talk and needs that help. Maybe they haven't gone to see a counselor or anything. My counselor was Jesus. I did not go to a counselor myself. I did a lot of research, and I am a Christian, so I am steady in my church work and in church and talking to friends and family and my current husband. So I've not gone to a counselor, but some women do need to do that. So my situation, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It's been a long time ago. After my first divorce, I was married for 10 years and had 4 children with my first husband, and I married very young. I was 16, he was 19. Started having babies right away. So we divorced after 10 years, and several months after that, I got away from going to church and hanging out with the right people, and with a friend, we started going to a club. And I met the bouncer there, and we actually met both bouncers who were friends and roommates. And so my friend at that time, she started dating one of them, and I started dating the other one. They both turned out to be abusers. I wound up after 6 months of dating him, and in that 6 months, I didn't see any red flags. I didn't see anything that made me think that I would be in a situation like that. Even though I had never been around anybody in that situation, I'd never read books, or nobody in my family had ever been through that. Still, even with not ever having been around it, I still didn't see any red flags. He was very attentive. He was, go out on dates and all this and that, and he kept asking me to move in with him. And I said, no, I'm not going to just live with somebody. So then he started asking me to marry him. And it was, like I said, only 6 months, and I did marry him. A week after getting married, his true colors came out. He didn't touch me at that time, but he went into a rage and he tore the house up. I mean, like even in the kitchen and through the living room, throwing flour and eggs and throwing other little figurines and stuff in the house, and just tearing things up. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that. I've never been around that type of violence. So it was shocking to me, and that started the progression. So then it did get to where he was touching me, he was hitting me, choking me. That was his favorite tactic. He blacked my eye one time, and I did file charges when he blacked my eye, because I left that night, went to my mom's, called and put in a report. They arrested him that night, and he spent the night in jail. So within a year and a half, I was only with him for a year and a half. In that year and a half time, I left and went back about 8 to 10 times. And statistically, that is the average for a woman to leave and go back, I think it's like 7 to 10 times before they leave for good. And I definitely fit that statistic. A lot of people will ask, well, why doesn't she just leave? And that statement or that question kind of bothers me because it puts the blame on the woman. Why don't you just leave? What's wrong with you? Why are you staying? Why are you putting up with that? Instead of putting the blame on the one that's the abuser. Well, what's wrong with him? Is he crazy? Was he abused? Does he need to see a counselor? Does he need to, be arrested? What's his problem? You don't ever hear those questions. You always hear, well, why doesn't she just leave? Why does she stay? And there's many, many reasons why women stay in those situations. For me, it was, he was very good at coming into me and just bawling like a baby. I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. And then he's played on my sympathy. Well, you're the only one that can help me. You're the only one that, understands me, and I need help, and I'll do whatever you say. And so I would go back. At one point, after several times of me leaving, and he, I said, well, we would have to go to counseling, marital counseling, and go to church. And he, oh yeah, promised me the world. Then he never went. He went to church one time, actually. And then he never went to counseling. No, I don't need that, he would say. I don't need counseling. I'm okay. I don't need to talk to anybody. And so it would start all over again. And so by the end of that time, when he finally abused me for the last time, I said, I'm not going to give you the details because it's in my book, but I really thought he was going to kill me that night. I was praying, Lord, if you get me out of this one more time, I will leave and never come back. And so the next morning, when he left for work, I gathered as much as I could, put it in my car, and I left. And then that was it. I never went back again. So there's a lot of details, of course, in my book as far as the abuse goes, and how it all went about, how it happened. So feel free to reach out to me if you would like to borrow a copy if you're local to me. That would be great. I want to help other women. I have counseled with women that are in that situation and given them advice and directed them to maybe a women's home or where they need to go when they're in that situation and they need to leave. So if you need that, or if you know somebody that needs that, please reach out to me and let me know, and I'll help as much as I can. So that's just, I'm going to make this kind of short, not too long. Just want to kind of give a synopsis of one part of my testimony. I've got lots of testimonies that I intend to share on here. I have healing testimonies and other things that I want to share. And so, but I wanted to just put out there a little bit about my background, when it came to the abusive relationships. May God bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and give you joy and peace.